Welcome to Uncle Tuna Dark Tales. If you enjoy a story that slowly crawl under your skin and refuse to leave, please turn off your light, put on your headphones, and let's begin. This story is about Ellis. Ellis was a quiet young man working in a small library in the United Kingdom. He loved books more than conversation, more than friendship, sometimes more than reality itself. But not just any book. Alice was drawn to old books, forgotten books, the kind that smell like dust and secrets. His favorite stories about haunted places, cursed object, and restless soul trapped between worlds. The funniest thing was Alice never believed in ghosts. To him, horror story was just entertainment, nothing more than imagination. Until he found the book. One evening, while organizing the lowest shelf in the library, Alice flinched. Something strange behind row of untouched dusty volumes. There was a book he had never seen before. It looked wrong. The cover was made from deep red dried flowers, stitched together with thin thread, almost like skin. Alice slowly pulled it out. On the cover, written in the faded black ink, what the word is empty with black soul, and beneath it in tiny letters, do not read this book. Alice smirked. Warning like that always meant one thing to him good fiction. He sat down at the reading table and opened the book. The moment he did, light above him blinked once, twice, then completely darkness followed the library. Alice laughed nervously. Just a power cut, he whispered to himself. He closed the book, slipped it into his bag, and headed home. At that night, Alice sat alone inside his small apartment. Rain tapped softly against the window glass. The room smelled of old paper and damp air. He placed the strange book on his desk. Slowly, he reached for it, just as he touched the cover. His phone started ringing. Alice flinched. It was his mother. They spoke briefly, normal conversation, nothing usual. The call ended. Alice reached for the book again. Phone again started ringing, and it's an unknown number. Alice muttered, irritated, and hung up that call. A strange thought crossed his mind. Was the book trying to stop him, or it's just a coincidence? Shaking his head, Alice switched his phone to silent mode. This is ridiculous, he whispered. He opened the book again. The pages were blank. Alice frowned. Then slowly letters began forming by themselves, spreading across the page like blood soaking into paper. You open this book because you believe in nothing. Alice felt a sudden drop in temperature. His breath became visible in the cold air. More words appear. An empty mind is the easiest door to enter. Alice tried to shut the book, but his hand won't move. The letters keep writing themselves. You are not reading this book, Alice. This book is reading you. From the corner of his eyes, Alice watched something move across the wall. He turned quickly. Nothing. When he looked back at the book, another sentence appeared. Do you hear the breathing? Alice froze. He held his breath, and then he heard it. Slow, wet, rotten, right behind him. Alice jumped up and spun around. His room was empty. But across the room there was a mirror. Alice stared at his reflection. His reflection was smiling, but Alice was not. The reflection slowly tilted its head. Then it whispered, You don't believe in ghosts because you are becoming one. Alice screamed. The next morning, librarian unlocked the library door as usual. Everything looked normal. Shelves were neat, tables were clean. Silence filled the room. Except there was a new book resting on the lowest shelf. Its cover was made of fresh red flower, still wet as is newly stitched. Beneath it, in very small letter, do not read this book. Inside the book, on the very first page, there was a photograph of Alice, staring directly at the reader, smiling. So, the moral of the story is darkness doesn't always live in haunted houses. Sometimes it lives inside forgotten pages, waiting to be opened. If you enjoy this story, make sure you subscribe because every week we uncover tales that were never meant to be told. Until next time, lock your door, check your windows, and never trust a book that wants you not to open. This is Uncle Tuna Dark Tales. Good night, take care, bye bye.